I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, a place where y'all come for motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and overall positive message. I'm your host, DJ. And today's episode is inspired by um, something that I just went through yesterday. And I was going to talk to somebody about investing because it's something that I want to get into. And he told me, man, one of the first things that I would do right now is, work on my debt. So we kind of got to talking about my debt and everything that I'm dealing with or that I have that I need to pay off. Just talking about that. And so then he said, yeah, man, the first thing that I would do is run my report and have the credit bureau get a credit report. And so he saw the look on my face and he was just like, man, he just kind of he stopped me because, me, I have 1,000 things going through my head in that moment. Right. And so many things are just so much fear is just building up. And he was just like, man, he was like, just stop. I don't know what you're going to see on that report, but whatever it is, take it one line at a time. Take care of your high interest stuff first, but man, just one thing at a time. And it made me realize that we can't be afraid of the answers, right? We gotta know where we're going. It's so important, like as we start to set our goals and as we start to form who we want to be and where we're trying to go in life, it's so important to have direction, but it can be scary. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be afraid of the directions. You can't be afraid of knowing where you need to go because you got to have some type of direction. So for me, hearing the creative report, it was like, oh man, I know it's all types of stuff that's probably going to be on there. Things I don't want to think about, things I know I haven't paid. I know I haven't done this. I know I haven't done that. But I don't want to think about it. But, that's how we let our problems continue to build and become worse than what they can be by not acknowledging them, by being afraid to see what's there, by, you know what I'm saying? Allowing that fear to make us not take any actions. And so, yeah, so as soon as he said it, it was scary for me. It was nerve wracking. It was paralyzing in that moment. And I'm glad that he was there. I'm glad that he saw it on my face. And I'm glad that he just kind of said, hey, calm down. This is a process. This is not going to be something that's cleared up overnight. It's not going to be cleared up in one day. But we got to start somewhere. You got to see what's going on. Like you can't get to where you want to be until you figure out what's all in your way, what's stopping you, what landmines are out there waiting on you. And so, you know, once he started to once I stopped getting in my head and stopped trying to figure out how to complete everything and started looking at it like, okay, just one task at a time. The first thing I need to do is just get it, get the report in my hand and actually look at it, actually see. It may be worse than what I'm thinking, or it may be better than what I'm thinking. Who knows? But I won't know until I actually get it. But that right there just kind of got me to thinking like, man, we allow our fears, how quickly we can allow our fears to paralyze us and make situations way worse than they have to be. So, and what I mean by that is just taking myself personally. How many things could I probably have already done to help myself if I wouldn't have been so afraid of what's on there, to see what's on there, to take a look, to try to help myself. Now, granted, I'm not saying that in a sense of wanting a pity party for myself. I put myself in this situation by the choices that I either made or didn't make, doing the things that I shouldn't have been doing or doing, whatever the case may be. But I'm here now. So I'm not feeling sorry for myself. It's just also me acknowledging when I could have been so much further if I had done this, or if I wouldn't allow fear to stop me from doing that, whatever that may be. But I'm here now. And that's what matters, is that I'm at this door. I'm at this opportunity. It may have taken me way longer than it probably should have to get here, but I'm here now. And so today's message is just, we have to stop letting that fear paralyze us, and we have to stop letting that fear make things worse than what they already are. So many things, just using my example, there's probably things that I could have been paid off. Oh man, I thought it was this price, but it's probably like, what I'm saying, something that I can go ahead and knock out, get done, whatever the case may be. And so it's something that I've let stop me from living life for long enough. And that's my fear, the fear of something, the fear of, in this case, the fear of seeing what's on there and being reminded of things that happened in the past, or that fear of just failure. You know what I'm saying? So seeing this credit report is just how I looked at it in the moment that he said it. Is okay, you just want me to sit here and face all my failures. You want me to sit here and look at everything in all these ways that I've failed, as far as managing money, making decisions financially, my financial decision making, all this stuff. You just want me to look at this dead, and yeah, yeah, he does. That's exactly what he wants me to do, because he wants me to recognize it. He wants me to see it. He wants me to acknowledge it, and he wants me to grow from it. He wants me to realize that, hey, this is who you were. It doesn't have to be who you are and who you always will be. Now you can do the things that you need to do to get to where you want to be. But we have to start somewhere. And this is where we start. These are these roots that you want to pull up. These are the roots. This is what it looks like. Absorb how ugly it is. Absorb how it makes you feel. So you don't come back here. So you do the work to get out of this hole that you're in, and you now start to feel the hard work that you do starts to fill that hole, so you don't have to worry about that hole being there. Don't just get out of the hole and leave the hole. Let's get out of the hole and fill it up, so that way there's no hole anymore. And so as he's talking to me, and we're kind of going through it, and he's explaining everything to me, okay, there's still like that little bit, there's still that little bit of fear in the back of my head, but it's not as loud, and it's not as strong, and I'm not hearing it as often, and it's like, okay, first step, just call them, get your credit report mailed, however the process is. And then once you get it in your hand, we'll go from there, line for line, whatever the case may be. So we can start doing the things that we need to do to get you where you want to be. If your goal is this, then let's do that. Let's start knocking these things out. And like I've said before, celebrate those. One of the things that I know that I'm going to do is every line that I can knock out, it's a celebration for me. I'm going to celebrate knocking that line out. I'm going to celebrate getting that off my credit report. I'm going to celebrate getting one step closer to my financial freedom, or getting to where I need to be, whatever the goal is. I'm going to celebrate those things, because I understand how important that is for someone like me who gets stuck in their head a lot, to celebrate those things. But I have to start somewhere. And I think for me, the main thing is quit allowing my fear to paralyze me, quit allowing my fear to make my problems bigger than they are, quit allowing my fear to make my journey longer than it has to be, because that procrastination and that fear of not wanting to see that bad news, or not wanting to look at my past failures or my past attempts to do things and them not working, however you want to look at it. That's all bad. Those are all my bad habits that I have to stop. I have to embrace these things. I have to embrace, okay, that's who I was. That's no longer who I want to be. And I'm doing the work to get to where I want to be. And I have to be willing to acknowledge that. I have to be willing to acknowledge where I've been. I have to be willing to start to pick myself up and dig and get myself out that hole and start to cover that hole, start to bury that hole. So that way, when I see myself in this area again, I'm not falling into that same hole because I've done the work to get out and I've done the work to fill it. And so it just, I mean, it amazed me, man. Like going back to yesterday when again, because I don't know what look that I made, but I made something and he just acknowledged it. And, and I think that that's also a good thing too, is to have people around you to just let you know, to reassure you that it's going to be okay. Yes, it may be scary. Yes, you know what I'm saying? It may be hard. It may be frustrating. It's going to take some time, but all of that is okay. It is okay that this is a process. It's okay that this is a marathon. It is okay that you're nervous. It's okay that you're scared. So all those things are okay, but don't stop moving forward. Don't stop taking those steps. Don't stop doing the things that you need to do. It's okay to be scared. It's not okay to let that fear paralyze you from doing the things that you need to do. One line at a time, one step at a time, one stage at a time, one process at a time. You'll get to where you need to go in due time, but you got to take that first step. And so, yeah, like, man, that was a powerful conversation for me. And it's a powerful lesson that I'm learning, because it's one thing to know, okay, that's one of my weaknesses. It's just letting the fear of things, just letting fear period get me to the point to where I don't want to do things. I don't want to try things. I just want to go hide in my shell, get back in my comfort zone, and that's it. It's one thing to acknowledge it. It's a whole nother thing to see it in real time. And so that was one of the things that I recognized yesterday as it was going on. It was like, man, I just let that fear creep up on me like that. And it was getting to the point to where it was getting to paralyzing levels just that quick. And so it was it was frustrating. I won't sit here and act like it wasn't. It was definitely frustrating, but it was also one of those things where it's like, okay, I understand. I understand it. I understand that I still have work to do. I still have processes to go through. I still have things that I need to get to. And it's so important to have people there to help catch you. Because if I wouldn't have had him there, and if he wouldn't have cared enough, like, even if I had somebody, even if I was talking to somebody, if they didn't care enough to see that I was starting to get lost in my thoughts, I was starting to get lost in my head to care enough to pull me out of that, who knows where I would be, or what would have happened. So I can also acknowledge it's important to have those people around you who care enough to help pull you out of your head, to help keep you from drowning in your thoughts, because that's what was happening to me. Like that fear of just seeing it, to seeing the credit report and seeing that number, that number that they say is just oh so important to what you're trying to do. And it needs to be at least this and that. And it's just like getting ready to see this number, getting ready to be face to face with, you know what I'm saying, something that probably isn't going to look good. It was nerve wracking for me, but I'm just so thankful to him for being there and for helping to pull me out of that dark place I was getting ready to sink into. Man, he really helped me. And I know that a year from now, when I'm in a way better place, because I've done a whole lot of work to get there, I want to go back and I want to thank him and I want to ask him, hey, do you remember when I was getting ready to go into, like, you saw me getting ready to sink into a very dark place? You helped pull me out. Those kind of words, you taking those few seconds to be like, hey, man, whatever you finna see on this thing could be way worse than what you're thinking, or it could be a lot better than what you're thinking. But no matter what it is, one line at a time, starting with whatever, start knocking these things out, but just take it one line at a time. You're not going to clear everything in one day. It's a process. And those few words, right? Excuse me, did a lot for me. They still are resonating with me right now because, as y'all know from the last episode, I'm big on celebrating small things. So even just having someone help me out of that dark place I was getting ready to go into is huge for me. It's a big thing for me because not only did it get me out of that dark place, it's also gotten me to a place where, you call where I'm calling, making calls, doing the things that I need to do to get, my credit where it needs to be and where I want it to be. So it definitely lit a fire under me to get to where I want to be and, to try to have the life that I want to have for myself and for, my family. These are the little things that I got to do. These are the things that I have to work on. These are the boundaries that I have to push to get to where I want to be. And it is not as scary, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not looking at everything as, okay, I need to get this whole thing done. It's just, I do need to get it done, but I don't have to get it done at once. It's okay to take it one step at a time, one line at a time. But I mean, it just goes to show you how easily your fear can take over, how powerful your mind is. And when your mind is not in the right space or in the right place, it can put you in a lot of positions, a lot of bad positions, mentality wise. And it's always important to have the right type of people around you. Like, and I know I've said it on here before, but for the people that are new here, it's so important to have a good, solid, supportive village around you. And this is a perfect example of just having the right people around you, because he could have easily just been like, hey, this is what you need to do, boom, boom, boom. And then that's it. But he saw that I was starting to drown in my thoughts. He saw that I was starting to, you know, fixate on the fear and not the good things that'll come out of this. I was just so focused on the negative. And he helped to pull me out. He took the time to help pull me out. And man, I feel like if that doesn't get you to understand how important it is to have the right people around you at the right times, you know what I'm saying? Nothing will get you to understand that's a big deal. Like you're not going to get through everything by yourself every single time. Yeah, there are going to be some things that you just have to go through by yourself, but it's not everything. There are going to be things that you have to lean on other people, or you have to trust those people to catch you when you start to fall. And that was a moment where I didn't even know that was an unexpected pitfall that hit me. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to, come in and him be like, hey, go do this, put your money here, da 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 da. I wasn't expecting to be talking about like my dead end, but I also don't know the money game. I don't know these things, but that's the reason why I came to him, because he showed me in the past that he's someone who cares. He's not just trying to push a product on me. He's someone who wants to see me succeed long term, big picture. And he wants to see me succeed in the small picture too, but he wants to make sure that I'm doing it the right way and I'm taking care and I'm doing the things that I need to do to make sure that I'm doing it to the best of my ability the right way. And so to hear that, I wasn't expecting it, but I'm also now that, now that I have a clearer mind, I'm not surprised by it, because that's what I was honestly just expecting him to put me in a good position. Now, in my mind, I thought putting me in a good position was just to give me some good tips or to put me uh, in touch with somebody who can help me or to give me some books to read or some sites to go to, things like that. But he's helping me in a way that's better than that, is that he's teaching me what I need to do and the work that I need to put in to get to where I want to be. And at the end of the day, that's what I want. I want somebody who's going to let me know, hey, this is what you need to be doing. Hey, I can just do this, right? We can skip those steps and you can do this. And I don't know how that'll sustain you. I don't know if that'll be realistic for you, but if you just want me to tell you what you want to hear, hey, do this. But I'm trying to tell you what you need to hear. I'm trying to tell you what you need. I'm trying to guide you the right way. I could easily just push these products onto you and spin here, do this. I could do that, but I want to see you succeed. I want to see you be successful. I'm glad that you're reaching out to me. You're making these calls. You're coming in. You're letting me know that these are things that you want. And so I'm giving you the answers. They may not be the answers that you want or the answers that you was expecting, but I'm giving you the answers to the test. And so I do appreciate that. I appreciate him. I appreciate him, not allowing me to drown and for giving me guidance. Now it's up to me to make sure that, I don't fall into despair when I do get the report, just taking it one line at a time, one step at a time, one thing at a time, and just getting my credit where I needed to be or where I wanted to be and just knocking all of these things off of it. So the main thing for me is just pushing forward one step at a time, one goal, one process, one day, whatever it is, one line at a time, but also starting to work on what's triggering this fear, what's the root of this fear, and what I can do to start to let it go, because I know me and I know the way I am, and that fear are not a good combination for me because it makes me so stagnant, because I'm so scared that I will stay in the same place. I get stuck in my comfort zone. And if you've heard me say nothing else, you've heard me talk about how it's so important to get out of your comfort zone, because it's so unproductive to be there. It's so unproductive to continue doing the things that make you comfortable, because they're not helping you grow. They're not helping you to get better, especially if you're not where you want to be. If you're not where you want to be in life, then yeah, your comfort zone is not the place you want to be. Now, if you where you want to be in life, you've done the work, then hey, that's another conversation. I'm not there yet, so I don't even feel like I'm qualified to have that conversation with you. But I can speak to the people who aren't where they need to be. Your comfort zone is not where you need to be. If you're not doing the things you want to do, if you're not in the place that you want to be in, the job, the whatever it is, financial brackets, whatever it may be, then your comfort zone is the last place you need to be, because your comfort zone is a very stagnant place. There is no growth in your comfort zone whatsoever. So trying to push myself outside of my comfort zone has been very challenging, very hard, very scary, but I've been making progress. You know, Sometimes it's big leaps, other times it's baby steps, but it is progress. And like I've said on the last episode, it's important to understand how far you've come and to celebrate where you are now. And so this is the next step in the journey, is for me getting over these fears of doing things or of seeing things, acknowledging, past failures, past attempts at something that did not work, whatever the case may be, and not letting the fear of having to see it or the fear of having to recognize it and come face to face with it, not allowing that to stop me from doing what I need to do, because I understand how important it is for me to do these things. It's just I allow I allow my thoughts to run wild, and I always get so focused on the negative. I don't know why, but make so much time for everything that could go wrong or every negative possibility that could come out of me seeing this report that I don't take the time to think about, okay, but once you see it and every single line that you start to knock off, that's going to do something positive for your report. Like, yeah, your report may be in a negative space right now, but you have the knowledge, you have the understanding, you have the resources, and you have somebody who wants to help. You have somebody here who's willing to, that's one phone call away from getting a better understanding if there's something that you don't understand. And so it's it's important for me to learn how to take a step back, to learn how to feel that anger, that frustration, that fear coming on, and be able to take a step back and say, hey, don't let that control you. Don't let that take you over. Take a few seconds to get yourself together and get to where you need to be so you can start to plan out what you need to do and understand that everything is not going to get done in one day, and I think that's the biggest thing that I took away from yesterday is just trying to get to the point to where I quit trying to fix all of my problems in one day. I quit trying to fix everything in one day, in one try, in one fell swoop, understanding that, man, these things are going to take time. I didn't destroy my credit in one day. So it's not going to be repaired in one day. And it's okay if it's not. It's okay if there are some setbacks. It's okay if there's some snags. This is a process. And as long as I don't stop moving, and as long as I don't get stuck in the rut or in the mud or in the quicksand of my comfort zone, I will get there. And so that's what I keep telling myself is I will get there. It may take me some time, and that's okay. That's perfectly understandable. But the point is that I get there. The point is not how long or how quick it takes me to get there. The point is just getting there. And so I say all of that just to summarize it up, stop letting your fears make you think your problems are bigger than what they are. Stop allowing your fears to make you stagnant to where you don't take care of the problems before they become bigger than what they need to be. Stop allowing your fears to make your troubles bigger than they are, to make your hard times longer than they have to be. Just do what you need to do. One step at a time, one line at a time, one day at a time, and you'll get to where you need to be. But I want to just say thank you to everybody who's listening on whatever platforms y'all are listening on. I really do appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to the podcast. I know I always say that, but I genuinely mean it, man. I thank y'all, man. I really do appreciate that. Y'all don't understand how good it feels for me to even if it's one download from the previous episode or whatever the case may be. I appreciate the love, man. I want to acknowledge that the downloads, the views on YouTube, everything, man. I appreciate that. And to the people watching on YouTube, thank y'all as well. I do appreciate it. I know I say it at the end of every single episode, but man, I really do appreciate it. Again, as someone who came in not expecting anything, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate a view. I appreciate 2 views, 3 views, whatever it is, the downloads. I appreciate them all. And I want to thank y'all, man. I want to thank y'all for supporting me. And I hope that y'all continue to come back. And I want to continue doing this. And I want to get even better. I want to get to the point to where I'm bringing guests on. And so, I just appreciate y'all for going on this journey with me and being a part of this journey and a part of this process. I thank y'all so much, and I hope that y'all have a blessed day.